Let's spend a few minutes with the Dan Clark Audio VOCE. So this is another eStat, obviously made by Dan Clark Audio, aka Mr. Speakers, one of the sort of few non-STAX current production electrostatics that you can get your hands on. I mean, there's a bunch of sort of cottage industry ones being produced, but from a sort of more well-known major manufacturer, there aren't a ton of options. HiFiMan and Dan Clark Audio being some of the exceptions. This may look sort of familiar in design. I think this this housing is sort of consistent with some of the other Dan Clark Audio. I think the Ether, maybe, big planar headphone. I've had a chance to hear one or two other Mr. Speakers over the years, and I think this follows in their tradition in terms of tuning. One of the things that's kind of cool that Dan Clark Audio does is includes a set of different tuning pads. Let me see if I have this real quick. So yeah, there's a handful of different options that all offer different amounts of sort of attenuation, sort of affect, I guess, the presentation. Usually tend to knock down the treble a bit to my ear. I thought this was sort of fine without them, or with the least, the sort of thinnest material option was kind of nice. So just to kind of talk about these guys overall, the build is awesome. I think Dan Clark Audio does a great job with their build. They got this cool headband thing. The clamp is excellent. These things are super light, all aluminum construction. They just feel so solid. The pads are really nice, and the leather's trimmed out really well. The connections, what's this, a removable cable on electrostat? Yeah, that's right. So these are removable with the tool. A little Allen head wrench goes in there and you can take them off, which is great because my cable actually had some problems and failed, and Dan Clark Audio customer support was amazing, and they were super happy to help me troubleshoot and get a new one out to me. But yeah, the other cool thing about this cable, well, one other thing you'll notice is this cable's round. It's not a flat ribbon cable, which is also fantastic. And then the end bit here is just really nicely put together. So the ergonomics of this headphone and of this cable are really stand out in the world of electrostatics, not being a ribbon cable, being detachable, being just round. It kind of moves around on your desk really easy. Yeah, and you can get in, I think, 2 different lengths. So that's great. That's a big win for this headphone. Overall, just the build and all that, it feels like a special thing and a really nice thing to own. I guess it is recommended that you sort of get this part of the cup sort of touching the back of your ear, or sort of like, I guess overall the cup position should be a little bit forward on your head from what you might guess. And yeah, I'd say that the tuning's a little darker on these maybe than some other eStats. So people who complain about sort of the intensity of treble might find that this is a good option for them, because it's definitely been controlled and pulled back a bit. Control, I think, is like the buzzword for this headphone. It is so just tight and controlled. In some ways a bit restrained, maybe. Definitely seems a bit power hungry. I tried it on a handful of different energizers, amps, and it always seemed to be kind of asking for more. So I kind of wonder if you gave this headphone even more juice, like put it on a Carbon or a Blue Hawaii, or just something with a ton of juice, if this wouldn't actually come alive a bit more. Vocals are really nice. They're detailed. They sound natural. They're forward, but they're not like super forward. Imaging and separation are there, but the soundstage doesn't feel very big. It all feels like it's happening pretty close to your head. The bass is very controlled, very detailed, but there's not a ton of it there. It doesn't feel very rich. I think when you compare this against other eStats, you're gonna, like I said, it's super controlled. It's very tidy. It's very smooth. It feels a bit relaxed, honestly. A little bit less bassy, a little less airy, sort of maybe a lot less of that sort of kind of eStat projecting, airy, sort of light raspiness. Yeah, I think you pick up some interesting micro texture and detail that I wasn't on some of the other eStats I tried. I don't know if that's just because everything's so tight and tidy that it's easier to weave in there, or if it's really actually producing more detail. Hard to say. But I guess in conclusion, neutral, polite, much like other Dan Clark audio headphones. I've heard no coloring. So I guess the amp you're bringing to it's going to make some impression. The DAC you're bringing to it's going to make some impression. But if you are interested in ESATs, there's not a cheap pair of headphones either. I think the MSRP is like $3,300. This is pretty spendy, and that's up there in 009 territory, which I've not heard. But for the 007, I probably have the 007 over this. I think I'll try to do a comparison of everything I've listened to at some point in the ESTAT world and sort of rank them. Or if you're looking for something more exciting, like the Lambdas or the ES1 Air things, are a bit more jumpy and exciting. But if you want to like just overall very balanced headphone that sort of covers the spectrum really well, is super tidy, is comfortable, is light, is well built, it sort of solves a lot of the irritations of ESTATs, but maybe in doing that compromises a little bit of the specialness. So yeah, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Loving the comments I've had lately. Some good dialogues there, so feel free to leave a note if you disagree or you've tried something else that you think's great. Yeah, like I said, subscribe, hit bell buttons, do all the things the YouTube people tell you to do. Until we meet again, this is Signcraft signing out.